This conference will now be recorded.
Chaturmukha Samarambham Vakbhadacharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Paramparam. Ragadirogan Satatanushaktan Asheshakaya Prasrutan Asheshan Aulsukyamoha Aradidan Jakhana Yopurva Vaidyaya Namostu Tasmai. Namaskaram to all of you. In our session today, I think we need not spend much of a time on discussions, because most of the things given are something like just to brush up whatever we have learned earlier in our primary lessons or classes. These are all observations which are to be used judiciously in our day-to-day practice while prescribing medicines, while engaging in pathya kalpana, like that. In our last session, we saw the karma of kashaya rasa, kashayo, kashaya, pitta, kapha, guru, asra, vishodhanaha, rakta vishodhanaha, pidano, ropana, sheedaha, kleda medo vishoshanaha, ama samstambhanaha, grahi, rukshodi, tvakprasadanaha. That is what we saw in our last session, and we explained the conventional meaning of all those lines. Kashaya, Pitta, Kapha, Guru, Asra, Vishodhana. So while we are going through while we go through these explanations, we should have an idea about where this particular rasa is placed in our minds, where we have registered this particular rasa. Sometimes we learn something to start with, but later on we add our own ideas on to further add on to what we have learned. Sometimes we develop some sort of a prejudices. It will be like this or it shall be like that. And many a times we act accordingly. Only when we come back to the basics, the textbooks, and read once again, then only we will understand that, okay, many of those things which we had put in our minds, maybe sometimes as prejudices, as I mentioned earlier, or as uh, during the primary learning classes, understood in a wrong manner, many things can happen, were not correct. So these sort of reading again and again will give us a chance to review what we have learned earlier and its applicability, to what extent we got the idea correctly. All these things are the bonus points that we will get when we read these basic lessons repeatedly. So regarding kashaya rasa, kashaya pitta kapha guru rasra vishodhanaha pidanaha ropanaha sheetaha kleda medo vishoshanaha Ama samstambhanaha. That is a very important idea. We find the kashaya rasa restricted for usage in Jwara Chikitsa. Tikta pitte visheshena prayojya kaduga kabhe pitta shleshma haratvebi kashayaha. Pitta shleshma, even though it is pitta shleshma hara is supposed to be theoretically pitta shleshma hara looks ideal in the early stages of Jwara Chikitsa. And that is how we came to the usage of other two kapha pitta hara rasas. Tikta pitte visheshena prayojya kaduga kabhe. But kashaya rasa is pitta kabhahara. Still sanashasyade. Kashaya sanashasyade navajware. Why? Malastambhad kashayo vishamajwaram kurude. So that malastambhana shilata, that is what we find earlier now here in this ama samstambhanaha. Ama samstambhanaha. Amam, the word amam itself is representing a stage of stambhana. Amam, the word itself reflects a status where something has gone on a stagnation. But then why should we use the word ama samstambhanaha? There in Jwara Chikitsa we find the word mala stambhad kurude vishamajwaram kashaya rasaha vishamajwaram kurude mala stambhad. So that ama samstambhanaha is actually mala samstambhanaha. Mala means dosha, dosha stambha. Dosha stambha is here ama dosha stambha. So again it becomes ama samstambhanaha. So amam itself is indicative of a stambhida stage. But generally amam has got a capacity to become pakvam even when left unattended in due course of time. Kalaha. Kalam is pajanam. Malanam pajanani syu yathavastham kramena cha. There we find that langhanam swedanam kalo. So even kalam will bring dosha pajanam, ama pajanam. But if you use kashaya rasa as a tool, considering its pitta kabha haratva, in a situation where there is ama present, this even the kalam will not bring pajanam. Even the kalam cannot bring pajanam, even though it is kabha pitta shamana. Kashaya rasam is kabha pitta shamana. That is why it is highlighted, specified. Ama samstambhanaha grahi guru, sorry, rukshaha ati rukshaha tvak prasadanaha. Then if this kashaya rasa used indiscriminately, in excess, what will happen? That is what we are going to see in the next couple of lines. Karodi shilita sodi vishtambhadmana hrudrujaha tritkarshya paurushabhramsha Srodorodha malagrahan. Karodi shilita sodi vishtambhatmana hridrujaha. Atishilitaha saha kashayaha rasaha karoti. What? Vishtambham karodi, adhmanam karodi, hridrujam karodi. So vishtambham. Vishtambham is a stage of stambham, and a commendably high degree of stambham is known as vishtambham, which is happening in the koshta mainly, or basically. Adhmanam is when vayu is stabdham, that causes some sort of a bloated stage in the koshta. That is known as adhmanam. Adhmanam. Hridrujaha. Hridrujaha, ruk, pain in the hriddesham. Hridrujaha, pain in the hriddesham. Then trit. Trit, because of its rukshada, at one point the excessive use of kashaya rasa will bring about shosham. Kledamedo vishoshanaha. That kledamedo vishoshanam in its extreme degree results in trit. Karshyam, krishata, snehakshayam. Paurushabhramsham. Paurushabhramsham is shandyam, shandada. Srodorodham. Srodorodham. It is a generalized term, not specified which srotas. It can cause rodham of any srotas. Then malagraham. Malagraham. It causes malagraham on in when used in excess. So these are the adverse effects of excessive use of kashaya rasa. Of course, there may be differences in the grades of these presentations according to the difference in the dravyas, because kashaya rasa is generally used in the with the different dravyas, no? So there may be some differences, but basic nature is like this. If you go into Ashtanga Sangraha, you will find a few more features very specifically documented. We will see it. Ashtanga Sangraha, this part, this description goes like this. Atyabhyasad sobi shuklobarodham Trishnadhmana stambha vishtambha karshyam Srodobandham Vadavinmutra Sangam Pakshagada Akshepagadimscha Kuryad. Obviously, we expect that this is Vada, this will cause Vada Kopa, because Anyetu Kurvate, it comes in that group. So it is a Vada Kopi Rasa. Vada Kopana Rasa. So it is expected. But here we do not find the specific explanation of any Vadavyadhi in Ashtanga Hridaya. But in Ashtanga Sangraha we find some of them. See, Srodorodham, Atyabhyasad Saha Shukrobarodham Kuryad. Shukrobarodham, that is what we find in Ashtanga Hridaya as Paurushabhramsham. So the Shukrobarodham explained in Sangraha is what we find as Paurushabhramsham in Ashtanga Hridaya. Then Trishna we already explained. Then Adhmanam, again we found the same term in Ashtanga Hridayam. Stambham we already met with. Vishtambham, Karshyam, all are same. Srodobandham, generalized, we explained. Vada Vinmutra Sangam, that Malagraham is specifically expanded to the list like this. What is it? Uh, Vada Vinmutra Sangam. Vada Vinmutra Sangam. Specific to the Apana. Then Pakshaghadam. Pakshaghadam. One among the many Vada Vyadhis. Akshepakam. Again, another class of Vada Vyadhi. Akshepakam. Which is having a Vegaswarupa or Vegaswabhava. Adin. And many other types of Vada Vyadhis we can expect in excessive use of, indiscriminate use of Kashaya Rasa. Atyabhyasad sobi shuklobarodham trishnadhmana stambha vishtambha karshyam srodobandham vadavinmutra sangam pakshaghada akshepagadinscha pakshaghada akshepagadiin cha kuryad. That is how we find it in Ashtanga Sangraham. Now, I think that explanation about the karmas of rasas, it is over. Now we find the ganas. Gana means a set. Gana means a set. So, rasa ganas. Examples of dravyas which come under each rasa. These are all examples. And again, some of them may be having some controversial identity. These are all issues always, but that doesn't matter, I think, because there will be regional alternatives or regional substitutes for those dravyas many a times, especially when the availability is a question. So I think you may not be able to find a consensus in the case of the identity of the dravyas mentioned in each gana. But that is not going to be a major crisis as far as a Vaidya is concerned. Of course, in the academies or in the official documents, I think definitely these are going to be issues. Not going to be, it has already become issues, because see in texts like the Ayurvedic pharmacopoeia or of similar type works which are official publications, certain dravyas will be botanically identified as a particular plant, but in many states or many areas, as per tradition or as per the local practice, the dravya may not be the same. There may be different types. Oh, I find a message in the chat box that my voice is not clear. Is it still a problem? Am I audible?
Sir, you are audible, sir, clear. The
Okay,
voice is
okay,
clear. I would
okay.
request them to please rejoin.
Fine, fine. So it is not my fault. Okay. Uh, then, so many a times what happens is, okay, a different type of medicine may be using in certain states, certain areas, according to the Vriddha Vaidya practice, the traditional practice. And they will be giving the expected clinical outcome as well. But when you propose this particular usage for some official purpose or for some official document, I think you will be landing in trouble, because that will not be the drug officially identified as that with that particular name. So that sort of issues are there. But still, as far as practice is concerned, or Vaidya, the Vaidya practice is concerned, it is not going to make much of a problem. So now we will find the explanations given or examples given in each rasa as rasa gana. First we find the Madhura rasa gana. Kridahema gudakshoda मोचचोच परूषकम् अभीरु वीरा पनस राजादन बलात्रयम् मेदे चतस्र पर्णिन्यो जीवन्दी जीवगर्षभौ मधुगम मधुगम बिंबी विदारी श्रावणीयुगम क्षीरशुक्ला तुगाक्षीरी क्षीरिण्यौ काश्मरी सहे क्षीरेक्षु गोक्षुर क्षौद्र द्राक्षादिर मधुरो गणः. द्राक्षादिर मधुरो गणः. I will read it once again. We will, as I mentioned earlier, we will identify, we will mention the names of each member of the Gana, but we will not discuss, we will not spend much time on discussing their identity. It goes like this once again. Krida, Hema, Guda, Akshoda, Mocha, Chocha, Parushagam, Abhiru, Veera, Panasa, Rajadana, Balatrayam. Balatrayam, 3 types of Bala. Then Mede, 2 types of Meda. Chadasra Parninyo, Chatasra Parninya, 4 types of Parninya. Shali Parni, Prusni Parni, Mugga Parni, all these things which are given. Jivandi, Jivaga Rishabhau. Jivaga Rishabhau. Jivaga Madhugam, Madhugam, Bimbi, Vidari, Shravani Yugam, Kshira Shukla, Tuga Kshiri, Kshirinyau, Kashmari, Sahe. Sahe, 2 types of Saha. Kshire Ikshu, Gokshura Kshaudra. Kshira Ikshu, Gokshura Kshaudra, Draksha, Adi, etc. That they come under Madhuraha Ganaha. They all come under Madhura Gana, the set which can be put under Madhura Rasa, Madhura Ganaha. Of course, some of these medicines mentioned are not that easily available these days, and due to various issues like the increased urbanization, then reducing areas of forest cover, then climate change, many things, and over exploitation as well. When we mention about over exploitation, we should think, we should introspect. Who is over exploiting this? why these herbs are overexploited for their medicinal value. So some way or the other, the use in traditional medicine is one among many causes for, or one prominent cause I should say, for the uh, crisis of existence. Many of them are becoming extinct actually, no more available. So Vaidyas are responsible, they are answerable for the crisis. So how can we make ourselves responsible? By multiple steps forward. Number one, avoiding unnecessary usage of herbs. How can we avoid unnecessary usage? By editing your prescriptions, try to use Aushadha yogas in which the ingredients are liberally available and not coming under this extinct status. And selecting those Aushadha yogas where the ingredients are minimal and freely available, of course. And number two is by auditing the prescription. How can we audit the prescription? After planning the primary prescription, go through it once again, whether all the medicines prescribed are quite essential for that particular situation. If you have included one medicine which is not essential in the healing process of that particular situation for which the prescription is intended, avoid it, cut it. That way, audit the prescription. So by editing and auditing your prescriptions, you can be a responsible member in the preservation of this endangered herbs, which is your responsibility. Number two, by identifying the medicinal value of herbs which are available in plenty in the public places, in the nearby small green lands and fields which are not critically endangered, maybe understanding their use from the traditional practitioners, Vaidyas, etc., etc., and including them in your practice instead of looking for very uh, extinct or endangered, very tough to procure types of medicines. That also will help in uh, preserving this endangered species of plants. Then promoting and engaging in cultivation of herbs to whatever extent we can in our personal capacity, and in the capacity of small groups, we can engage in the action plan of or act of preserving the endangered species. So many things like meda is not available many a times, then jivandi, jivagam, rishabhagam, then shravani yugam, then saha. So many things, many medicines in this small list of madhuragana is no more available many a times. So the Vaidyas who are answerable, who are responsible, who should be held responsible for the uh, deterioration of this sort of herbs should be do something to compensate what we have done for many years or decades. Then now we will find the amlaganam. The amlaganam. Amlo dhatri-bhala amliga madulunga amlavedasam dadimam rajadam takram chukram. In some texts we will find shuktam palevadam dadhi amram amradagam bhavyam kapitham karamardagam. I'll read once again. Amlo dhatri bhala amliga madulunga amlavedasam dadimam rajadam takram chukram palevadam dadhi amram amradagam bhavyam kapitham karamardagam. Amlaha ganaha. The members are dhatri bhalam, dhatri bhalam, amliga, madulungam, amlavedasam, dadimam. Dadimam is of two types, amla dadimam and madhura dadimam. Dadimam is very extensively used in the traditional ahara kalpana of many vikaras. Jara itself you will find many situations. Then rajadam. Rajadam is a loham. Takram is a gavyam. Shuktam or chukram is a sandhana vishesham. Palevadam. Dadhi. Amram. Amradagam. Bhavyam kapitham karamardagam. So a handful of dravyas which are coming under amlagana is listed here. Then we will find lavana gana. In the amla varga there is no much to describe or discuss. So we switch over to lavana gana. Varam sauvarchalam krishnam vidam samudram romagam pamsujam sisam or shisam ksharascha lavano ganaha. Varam sauvarchalam. Varam means shreshtham among lavanam, that is saindhavam. Sauvarchalam, krishnam, these are all types of lavanas. Vidam, samudram, audbhidam, romagam, pamsujam, sisam, charaha cha lavanaha ganaha. Chara. There are different members in the group of Kshara. Ksharascha lavano ganaha. Now we will find Tikta gana. Tiktaha Padoli Trayandi Valagoshira Chandanam Bhunimba Nimba Kaduga Tagaraguru Vatsagam Naktamala Dvirajani Musta Murvadarushagam Padhabamarga Kamsyayo Guduji Dhanvayasakam Panjamulam Mahadvyagriv Vishala Adivisha Vaja. Comparatively a bigger Gana. We will find the members once again. Tiktaha Padoli Trayandi Valaga Ushira Chandanam Bhunimba Nimba Kaduga Tagara Aguru Vatsakam Naktamala Dvirajani Rajani Dvayam Musta Murva Adarushagam Padha Abhamarga Kamsya Aya Guduji Dhanvayashakam Mahat Panjamulam Vyagriv Vishala Adivisha Vaja. Vyagriv, that Brihadi Dvayam. Then interestingly, the members of this Tikta are maybe the most popular ones in our day-to-day clinical practice. That is very interesting. Most of them are ingredients. I think if you have all these members of Tikta Gana in your immediate reach, you can divide them like herbs, shrubs, small trees, creepers, metals, minerals, big trees. All these things can be made, classified or picked out from this list. And if these medicines are in your immediate reach, interestingly, I think most of the Prashasta Kashaya yogas, as per our Kerala tradition, we are depending upon the Kashaya yogas. That means the Shruda or the Kwadha Kalpana very much. So many medicines which are in our day-to-day practice can be made out of this Tikta Gana. So very interesting. When I look at this Gana and when I just think about the most commonly used medicines in our clinical practice, interestingly, from Jwara to Adashonida, and almost all the chapters in the Uttarasthana, whatever is medicines are advised, interestingly, they can be made out of this Tikta Gana. So that shows the importance of Tikta as Aushadha. And if you look at the Madhura, you will find that most of the Ahara Dravyas can be seen included in that. So as Ahara, Madhura has got the dominance, Shadrasam, Madhura Prayam. Whereas in Aushadha, this Tikta Rasa is having a dominance. Now we will find the Kaduga Gana. Kadugo Hingu Marija Krimijit Panjakolagam Kudheradya Haritakaha Pittam Mutram Arushkaram. Kadugo Hingu Marija Krimijid Panjakolagam. I will read it once again. Kadukaha Hingu Marija Krimijit Panjakolagam. Panjakolam. Everyone knows. Pippali Mula Chavya Chitraga Nagara. Then Kudheradya Haritaka, which you will find in our Annaswarupa. Kudheradya Haritaka, Kudhera Shigra Surasa Sumukha Asuri Bhustranam Bhanija Arjaga Jambira Prabhriti Grahi Salanam. That is what we find that Kudheradi Haridagam, that is the details of that Kudheradya Haritagaha. Then Pittam. Pittam is again used as medicine. Most of these things are used as medicine. Very rarely, I think, of course, there are some. But interestingly, I think you may be able to add many things in, especially in Kaduga. I think the most of the chili types of things which are in the common use these days may be looked for their place. Where should we place them in this Kaduga Ganam? What is their what is its nature? All these things can be done because they are freely available and they are produced as agricultural produces. They are available easily. So they also can be judiciously included in our collection of Kadu Rasa. Kudheradya Haritakaha Pittam Mutram Arushkaram. Arushkaram Bhalladakam. So this is the Kaduga Ganam. Then we find Kashaya Ganam. Again a famous or a very important Aushadha Ganam is Kashaya Ganam. We will find the members. Varga Kashaya Pathyaksham Shirisha Khadiro Madhu Kadambodumbaram Mukta Pravalanjana Gairigam Balam Kapitham Gharjuram Visapatmolpaladi Cha. Varga Kashaya Pathyaksham Shirisha Ghadiro Madhu Kadambodumbaram Mukta Pravala Anjana Gairigam Balam Kapitham Gharjuram Visapatmolpaladicha. Kashayaha Vargaha Ganaha Pathya Haridaki, a very famous Aushadha. Aksham Vibhedaki. Shirishaha Ghadiraha Madhu. Kshaudram comes in the Madhura Gana, and here Madhu comes in the Kashaya Gana. So that is also an interesting thing. Kadambam Udumbaram Mukta Pravalam Anjanam Gairigam. Many Rasadravyas. Balam Kapitham. Balam Kapitham is in the Kashayam. Gharjuram also. Balam Gharjuram. That is also a Kashaya Rasa Dravya. Visam, Patmam, Ulpalam, Adi. So there are space for more additions. So Balam Kapitham Gharjuram Visapatmulpaladicha. So that is also a good list of dravyas. Many of them are very popular in the day-to-day practice. So with that we conclude the ganas, 6 ganas. Now there is further to this we find in Ashtanga Sangra. I am not going to read the ganas because it is very elaborate. You will find maybe another 10 or 20 members in each gana, and there the word used is skandha. Madhura skandham, amla dravya skandham, lavana dravya skandham, like that. And of course the members maybe, except in lavana dravya skandham, we will find a few more or at least maybe 10-15 members extra given in Ashtanga Sangra. Now we are going to have a look into the some trends, some basic understanding about the dravyas with their exceptions, exclusions, which should be kept in our minds members of a group behaving in a different manner. That is very important, because they are going to be the many the critically important in certain usages, in certain situations, so they are highlighted. We find it as madhuram shleshmalam prayo जीर्णा चालियवादृदे मुद्गाद गोधूमद क्षौद्राद सिताया जांगलामिषाद. मधुरम श्लेष्मलं प्रायो जीर्णाच्छालियवादृदे. मधुरम श्लेष्मलं प्रायः. प्रायः मधुरम श्लेष्मलं. In general, प्रायः. मधुरम is श्लेष्मलं. तत्राद्या मारुदं घ्नन्ति त्रयस्तिक्तादयः कफं कषाय तिक्तमधुरा पित्तम् अन्ये तु कुर्वते. So there we get the idea. Madhuram shleshmalam prayaha. So that prayaha is to give some exceptions. There are certain members in the Madhura category which shall not behave in the way they are supposed to behave as members of the Madhura family. That is their capacity to increase the shleshmalam. जीर्णाद शालीयवाद हृदय. हृदय जीर्णाद शालीयवाद. जीर्णाद शालीयवाद हृदय प्रायः मधुरम श्लेष्मलम. So जीर्णम, जीर्ण शाली and जीर्ण yavam, these grains are not shleshmalam even though they are madhuram. Shali is madhuram and shleshmalam. Yavam is madhuram but not shleshmalam. We all know it is vadakrit. It's a different question. But especially even though they are madhuram, they are not shleshmalam. When the shali, when it is jirnam, it will not act as shleshmalam. Jirnam is something which has stood for more than 1 year or at least 1 year. That is known as jirna. So another word used is purana. Jirnam is purana shali. So then it is not shleshmalam. Similarly, mudgad godhumada kshaudrat sitaya jangalamishad. Many members are exempted. Mudgad hrude. Mudgam is madhuram but not shleshmalam. Mudgadagi, mudgadhagi masuradi shimbidhanyam vibandh. They are kabhapitta shamana. Mudgam is kabhapitta shamana. Then godhumam. Godhumam. Godhumam is madhuram but not shleshmalam. It is very interesting. That observation is very interesting. I'll come to it later. Then kshaudrad. Kshaudram, even though madhuram, not shleshmalam. Sita. Sita means sharkara, sugar. Then jangalamishad. Jangalamisham, even though it is madhuram, not shleshmalam. So let us take these examples to our current situations, the time in which we live. Jirna shali. Jirna shali means something which has crossed maybe the 1 year period. Purana shali. I think it is not that rare these days, because I think when this uh, food grains are stored in the warehouse, maybe government warehouses, before going to the public distribution system, they may be getting stored in the warehouses for 1 year, or sometimes something near to it. So Jeernashali in the public distribution system of the country, I think that may not be very rare. Yavam, I think, is not in that common use. Of course, with the increasing number of prameha rogis around, Yavam is also attracting or gaining more popularity these days. Mudgam is in wide use. So Mudgam, I think, is an excellent option for Madhuram, which is not Shleshmalam. Godhumam, what is given in as Godhumam in the textbook, and what you are getting as Godhumam are entirely different. By name they are same, but in quality they are not same. What is used as Godhumam in the olden days traditionally, and what we are getting these days, now the what the farmers in general, especially in large quantity, getting cultivated is all hybrid wheat varieties. They are all hybrid wheat varieties. So you cannot expect the quality for the wheat you consume, uh, taking leads from the textbooks. You can't expect the same quality as explained in the textbook for the wheat what we are using these days. Then chaudram is the madhu, is the type of madhu. Chaudram, if you look at, there are many types of madhu, isn't it? We will find there are 4 types of madhu, there are 8 types of madhu. All are correct. All are correct. Makshigam is there, isn't it? Chaudram is there. Madhu as such is a common name used. Chaudram, I think when you look at the word Chudram, the Chaudram, the word comes from Chudram. So that bees, honeybees, are of different types. Their habitats are different. Their size, that is very very different. Their behavior patterns are different, and obviously the madhu they make is also different. So in general, Kshudram, if you can take a lead, something which is related to Kshudram is can be called as Kshaudram. The small bees which are residing in the, say, maybe the foundations of buildings, small bees, you can, they will not fly for very long distances, or they may not be collecting the honey from far away forests or flowers. They will be collecting the madhu from the local uh, trees and flowers, and that bees are very small. So I think chaudram, that the honey made by that such small bees, maybe the madhu which is known by the name chaudram. Generally it is very popular for its high medicinal value, especially in netra chikitsa. This chaudram is preferred many a times, this honey prepared by the this small honey bees. So that is Kshaudram, but it is not very easily available. Then Sita is sugar, Sharkara. Again, the Sita which is mentioned in the textbook as not Kabhavarthaga, And the sita, the sugar what you are getting as a commercial product these days in the market, I don't think that there is any comparison between them. The sugar what you're getting these days is quite dangerous that way. It is very pure, suddham in the sense chemically pure. Chemically pure means bleached in multiple ways in multiple times and made 100% pure. And I think that is supposed to be, Gandhiji used to call this sugar as white poison. So that is that tells everything. So sita, don't expect that, okay, Ashtanga Hridaya tells that sita is not slashmalam. You can't expect to be so, because it is not the label that works, but the dravya which is working. Then jangalamisham, jangalamamsam. Jangalamamsam also is very, very difficult to procure these days. In the normal life, we are getting the mamsam from the farms, the farm bred animals or farm bred birds, whether it is any type of meat or uh, the source of mamsam is cannot, we cannot expect it to be jangalam. So generally, all the mamsam we are getting these days are madhuram and slashmalam as well. So the text is an indication, but what you are getting in our daily life is very important. So you have to be very choosy, very picky while taking these ideas into our real life. I think we have covered our time. uh, the rest of the things we will see in our next session. I'll be just reading these two lines once again. Madhuram sleshmalam prayo jirna chaliyavadrude mudgad godhumada kshadrad sitaya jangalamishad. So with that we conclude today.
Yes, thank you, Prasad sir. I think these points are very basic and simple to be understood, but needed to be brushed off. And by these sessions, I think we are doing the same thing. So, big thank to Prasad sir again for brushing our minds and revising the things. Yeah, with this, sir, I think we will wind up today and meet in our next session.
Yes. Thank you all. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, Shubhratri, sir. Shubhratri.
Shubharatri.